Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest episode of Leading the Averitt Way. I'm your host, Alice Crabtree. Thank you for investing your time in learning to lead within the Averitt culture. Today's video is another great one. Let's get started.
Hello everyone. We are here today to have the opportunity to speak with a very esteemed guest, Alan Stanley. He is about to be retiring at the very young age of just 60, I'll say, and I think I'll come back and touch on that a little bit later on how that was possible. But Alan has had a really impressive career with Averitt. Over 35 years, the first 15 were spent in maintenance and the last 20 in dedicated. So Alan's actually had two Averitt lives. So there's a lot that we can talk about today. So get things kicked off. What originally brought you to Averitt?
Well, I was actually looking for a part-time job.
Okay.
And I came down and interviewed with Charlie Lyons in Nashville.
Charlie Lyons, haven't heard that name in a decade or two.
He said he didn't have any part-time jobs, but he had a job in the shop. And not being a mechanic, I let him know, and he said, no problem, we'll train you everything you need to know. We just need good people.
And Steve Maxim was here at that time?
That was before Steve.
Before Steve,
That was back in the days of Jim Bates.
Ah, okay. That predates me.
That's quite a ways ago. But so I started working in the Nashville shop. I worked at night. I was still going to college at the time, so we came in and we started our shift about 8 o'clock at night and worked till 6:30 in the morning. And then I went home and showered and went to class.
And that was it wasn't the current Nashville Service Center.
No, it was over the old service center over on Polk Avenue, more in the middle of town in Nashville, in the old industrial area. And so did that 4 days a week, 4 nights a week. And then on Sundays, I'd come in early in the morning and get what we called truckload then, which is truckload again, but back then it was truckload too. Get those trucks out and ready to go for their weekly runs every Sunday. So sometimes I'd get off at noon, sometimes it'd be 5 o'clock.
Wow.
Just whatever needed to be done.
Must have been tough while you're going to school.
Oh, it was. I don't know how I ever did it, but full class load and a full workload.
35 years, that's a wonderful career. I think all of us would be proud as we're walking out the door to be able to say I spent 35 years with one organization. What are some things about Averitt that has made you want to stay so long?
Well, the number one thing has been the people. The people at Averitt make the company. There are I have had opportunities through the years to do other things with transportation companies.
No doubt.
But I don't think their people could top ours. And as we see today, we've been around the corporate office visiting with friends and folks that I've worked with over the years, and I have fond memories of them. And that's kind of the bittersweet part of retiring. Averitt's also very secure. In my days in maintenance, I saw that we didn't borrow money to buy trucks. We paid cash for them. And that meant a lot to me. We've always been pretty much debt-free.
Oh yeah, financially secure.
Very financially secure. Security to me is very important, and I don't like change too much.
Yep.
So
we're all averse to change.
If you have a secure company that's run well and have good people, and when the president of a company this size knows your name and willing to come down and talk to you, that means a lot to me. So, and Gary's always done that.
That's wonderful. And I know it means a lot to all our folks. I mean, and as you know, you've got a lot of folks on your team currently that Gary speaks to. He has his welcome calls to them, and I'm sure you hear about that.
Oh, yes. They come in the next day and say, guess who called me?
Yep.
And I said, yeah, he calls everybody. And I said, that's part of being the Averitt.
Tell us a little bit about, and I know about it because I was on the receiving end of your change in career, but a little bit about your transition over to dedicated.
Well, maintenance was restructuring in 2004, and that was about the time I think George Sasser left the company, and so corporate maintenance, which I was a part of, was restructuring and moving to Cookeville. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really want to move to Cookeville. I love living in Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Smyrna, and an opportunity came up in the dedicated group. Jim Barnett was running it at the time.
Yep, that's another name from the past.
And he called and asked me if I thought I could drive to Smyrna to work at the Nissan plant. I said, well, I think I can because I live in Smyrna. So
works well.
Jim and I met, and I guess he liked me, and he offered me the job it was a dispatch position in our transportation group there. At that time, we ran the parts to the local suppliers for Nissan.
Yep. Okay.
And then about a year or so into that, you called me and said, we got a new opportunity over at the plant. We would like you to be our operations manager. And that was the switching operation. And we started out with about 10 or 11 on each shift, day shift and a night shift. And
Yep.
a couple of dispatchers and 2 leaders.
Yep.
That's how it got started.
Tell us a little bit about the importance of your thoughts on how Averitt approaches mentorship and associate development.
Well, Averitt, and I'm an example of that, likes to promote from within. I started as a mechanic working on the shop floor and had opportunities to improve myself and go into leadership and in other areas in the maintenance group. And then we do the same thing in our dedicated group. My current day shift frontline leader, who is going to be my replacement as operations manager, started as a switcher with us in 2005 when we started at Nissan.
Love that.
And she's worked well, drove for a while, and then she dispatched for a while, and has been frontline leader now for probably 7 or 8 years.
Yep.
And she has grown with the company, and Krista is going to make a great operations manager for our account.
Yep, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly, and it's just another one of many examples of finding the right person for the right position. And we're not going to miss a beat operationally because you've trained her up so well, but you will be sorely missed.
Well, thank you for that. And the people around me is what helped me be successful too. We've had good folks, and she's part of that, very much part of that. So we will be successful there.
Well, and that kind of probably is a good roll into the next question I wanted to ask you. What are, I guess, some of your favorite things about our culture here at Averitt?
Just that the leadership, all the way up to the president, knows the people, gets to know the people, comes out and meets them. That means a lot. We're on first name basis with the owner of the company.
Yep.
And to me, that means a lot. We also try to treat our people fairly, and we understand that they have lives and things happen, and we work with them when there are issues, and it's not all black and white.
Right.
There's a lot of gray sometimes, and we try to work and understand. If somebody does a good job and then they have a problem at home, we work with them.
Yep. Family's important.
We treat them like part of our family, and we spend a lot of time with our fellow associates. Probably more time than you spend with some of your family members.
In many cases, yeah,
So
I would agree with that.
That's a good part of Averitt. Averitt's benefit packages and pay packages are very competitive.
Yep.
So that's important for people. I've raised my family.
Yep.
Because of Averitt and done well. And
Yep.
part of, like you said, retiring early. It's because of a good benefit package, and I was able to do the things that I wanted to do. We've lived comfortably, and we've put away for the future, and now here we're going to reap the reward.
Yeah. Well, and that brings me back to another, I guess, question I wanted to pose to you. So you're just 60 years old, retiring, and you and I have been talking about this for years, but you had a plan to retire at 60 for how long?
Almost as long as I've been at Averitt.
Okay.
When, the profit sharing early days was just an account. They were putting money in as a profit, and there were some good deposits.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'd been at Averitt probably around 2 years. Around 1990, we started a 401k. And at that time, it was separate from the profit sharing. So you had your profit sharing in one account and your 401k. But the leadership at the time, Richard King and George Sasser, they harped on it really hard to us young guys that put away your money, and one day you'll be able to retire early. So I decided that 60 was going to be a good year to retire. I was about 25 years old, 26 years old, and I started putting away my pay, part of my pay every week, and left it alone, forgot about it. I've never changed anything on my 401k from the original distributions and how it was. I didn't try to play the market and guess and make changes as the market went up and down. And every time I got an increase, I put a little more in my 401k till I got to 10%. And so for over 20-something years, I've been putting 10% of my pay in.
Very nice. And I think we were talking earlier today about the impact of profit sharing, especially the past couple years that has that been able to make a difference on you being able to realize your goal of retiring at 60?
Oh, most certainly. When I tell friends that I got an 8% match, almost 9% match, they're unbelievable. They said my company doesn't do near that much.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about some other folks, and family members. I mean, I think most places it's in the 3 or 4% range.
Right. Well, my wife, she works for the city, and their match is 3%. That's the most they'll match.
Yep.
So to say that we're getting 8-9% match is unheard of in this country.
What advice would you give, looking back to a young Alan Stanley 35 years ago? Would it be anything different than what you've done?
I don't know, because I've enjoyed my career. I've done a lot of very interesting things. Been able to travel some with the company, for the company. I've met a lot of interesting people around the country. When I was in the maintenance group, we were a customer for the Volvos and the Peterbilts and the Macs of the world.
Yep.
And so we were treated good because we were a good customer.
Oh yeah.
But I got to see a lot of interesting things and learn a lot of technology and
and
advancements.
that's changed.
And it's changed so much. I know our maintenance group now has done a great job in putting the best equipment on the road.
Yes, absolutely.
And that means a lot to our drivers to have good, safe equipment, the latest and greatest. Even in our switcher trucks, we have new switcher trucks.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Air conditioning now, and
the color scheme for safety.
Oh, I mean, all sorts of great advancements. The truck is much more comfortable to work in, and that's their office. So it's important that it is comfortable and safe.
For those that may be interested in leadership, what advice would you give to them? It's somebody who's just brand new, just arrived at the company.
Well, pay attention, learn the operation, and then let your feelings be known to your leadership that you're interested in growing and going into leadership with the company. Averitt is very good about looking within first to fill all positions.
Promote from within.
And that means a lot, that you get a first opportunity before someone from outside. But the biggest thing is do your best, and you'll always have an opportunity at Averitt if you're performing well.
Very good. I think that's great advice. So looking ahead on a personal note, what are your plans after April 1st?
Well, I'm very active in my church. I'm a member of the Knights of Columbus, and so I really enjoy volunteering and helping people do different things.
Pay it forward.
Yep, and so I'll a lot of time doing that. I have an 8th grader who is a Boy Scout, and I'm a Scout leader, and I'll be spending time with them from the campouts to the meetings and the merit badge schools and all that. And then, of course, my wife has a long list of things for me to do.
As there should be. That's perfect. I'm looking forward to that list myself.
Maybe even get into some golf again. I haven't played in years, but I'd like to swing the club occasionally. So get it back out there on the fairway and see what I can do.
Outstanding. Okay, great. One final question. You and I have spoken earlier today, and prior to this, you've agreed to be a part of our ambassador team. Why is that appealing to you?
Well, stay in touch with the people, stay in touch with Averitt. I'm excited about that opportunity to be able to continue to enjoy, continue to help contribute with the Averitt Cares for Kids. I think that's an awesome thing that we have done, and I talk to all my new associates and try to get them to join Averitt Cares for Kids. And it's such a small contribution on our part, but the power of $1 times the number of associates really adds up. And so that's a great opportunity to be able to continue to be part of that team and know that I'm helping make a difference there at St. Jude.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And you can continue bringing us referrals because you know exactly what it takes to be a successful Averitt associate.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Very good. And we just started talking about this, so I think you and I need to, I guess, flush it out a little bit, but mentor program, I think we might get you signed up for that before you get out of here
Yeah, I'm
today.
just learning about that, so we'll see what that has to do. And I've already told those that I'm leaving behind there at the account that I'm just a phone call away, so there's an opportunity for me to continue to help them.
And that is priceless. 35 years of experience walks out the door. That is not easily replaced. So we would certainly appreciate your willingness to come back and help in our times of need.
I'm more than willing. Like I said, Averitt has been very, very good to me, and I owe it a debt that I'll never be able to repay. So I'm there for you.
Well, it's the feeling is mutual. You've done a lot for our company, and I can't thank you enough for your dedication, years of service.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you all.